So once a student sort of, let's say, arrives at college, how much do you think their study environment might be a factor in their success in school?
Oh, it's. I feel like it's one of my big kind of three areas of success. It's your mindset, your environment, where you do the work, and your work ethic. I feel like are the big three in my mind. And it's kind of where and who is like kind of the two areas. The where is I had identified my productive spaces in college, like places I knew I could go and get work done. And there's also two different varieties of that. There's one that I can go in groups and kind of interact with people, and there's some that are I call my sacred spaces. So I'm by myself, I'm in a spot that's special to me, it means something to me, and I know I can get work done. So my two spaces were, there's a spot in the library, the quiet section of the library, that overlooked a beautiful field. So I went there when I need to get work done. And when I say no distractions, and a spot, like a period of time, I'm like, hey, I'm not looking at my phone. I'm focusing on my studies for an hour, or with a couple breaks in between, obviously, but I'm going to stay here an hour, get as much work as I can done, then get going. I can do other things. But like having those spaces identified and know that we're productivity is very possible and very preeminent. You get more success out of it. And also, I'm a big proponent of group studying. I feel like people can be very influential. You can do more in group settings, and you can get more productivity. But I feel like keeping those separate and kind of focusing on like end goals in mind of like, hey, what's the goal of the session if you're working in groups is a big point of group studies that people kind of leave out.
So it kind of sounds like what you're saying. If a student is researching colleges, they should really be thinking about walking across the campus.
Yeah.
Where do I see myself studying, right? Like checking out the library or the study spaces.
The library.
Yeah. Yeah. And it would be the libraries. I could always find a table in the library, which is not, it was good,
it is
but
an
sad.
indictment, right? It is to say that if you can, like, back from when I went to college, the most studious people spent the most time at the library. That's just the way it goes, right? And so if there's always room at the library, that means that there's not a lot of people who have figured out that environment impacts their success.
Yeah.
But also to distraction, like what you're saying, is sometimes learning, I always say first rule of learning is always like know thyself. So if you know that you're vulnerable to distraction, we all know that someone who thinks they're going to study in their dorm room when their, roommates or their hallmates are coming and going, you got to be kind of realize that about yourself and say, look, I need to leave this space. And that's what's going to set myself up for the greatest success for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this video as much as we did. You'll find plenty more like it when you explore the Test and the Rest channel. Be sure to comment, share, and subscribe for a constant stream of insights into learning, education, testing, and admissions. For full podcasts and amazing resources, find us at testsandtherest.com.